If you tell a man a problem, what does he think? He's got to solve it. He's got to fix it.
You're asking for my opinion, right? You shared a problem. I'm here to fix it. I am your knight in shining armor, right? Mm-hmm.
And so men share solutions. Boy, I encountered this problem the other day at work, and here's what I did. I fixed it.
I conquered.
So what happens when wife wants to just kind of share her day, and maybe she's home with the little ones and it's been a really rough day, and he comes home and she says, boy, the kids were just, it was a rough day.
And, well, you really should have done this and this. And if you had planned better, you wouldn't have had that problem with it.
Is that what we want to hear? No, we just want a little sympathy. We want to know that our spouse hears us and cares that we've had a rough day. What we want to hear is, I'm so sorry it's been a rough day for you.
I think I can handle this one. Wow, that sounds like a really tough day.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have to get any more technical than that, guys. We can bless this love of our life by just saying, oh, wow. Oh. And there was 2 grunts and 1 word. Oh, wow. Oh. So if you take 3 things away from our workshop today, wow. You got it made, guys. You're well on your way. You're investing in your relationship. Well, let's talk about you girls again. You ask for directions. This is an opportunity to connect with someone. Meet somebody. You're traveling and you don't know which direction to take or where something is. Let's go ask somebody. It's an opportunity to connect.
Well, what about men? They're going to stop and ask for directions?
No.
I can find it myself. I don't need to ask somebody. I'll figure this out.
In fact, we almost have like a magnetic cartilage in our nose. And if we just close our eyes, we can sense which way is north. And then we know which way is west, east, and south. We'll figure our way. In fact, it's an adventure if we don't know where we're going, because we'll see new things we might not have otherwise seen. We've got all kinds of great reasons not to be dependent on somebody else, especially a stranger that we don't know. We're going to do it ourselves. You women, on the other hand, know what reverse is in the car? And so you passed an exit, or you passed the exit for the restaurant that you wanted to get off that the kids want to eat at, and instead of going another 2 or 10 or 30 miles to the next exit, you'll use reverse, and you'll turn around. You'll back up.
Men, it's like, oh, well, yeah, we passed that McDonald's, but there'll be another one soon. There's one everywhere. We're not going back. We'll lose time.
We don't want to waste time because we're conquering. You don't have to raise your hand, guys, but how many of you, when you're going on a driving trip, you look at your watch, you look at the odometer, you kind of calculate, okay, it took us this long last time. Let's see if we can make better time this time. Yeah, you don't have to raise your hands, but I know I'm interested in that. It's fascinating because I kind of like to conquer things. And a road trip is a chance to conquer.
Now, actually, this is one where he and I may actually flip that. I'm the one that's got it figured out, and we'll be there at exactly 3:06 p.m. if we don't stop. What do you mean you want to stop?
But I do not like to use reverse because that takes up extra gas, in the car and to go back and backtrack, so I don't do that. You gals, you do relational talk, you do rapport, you build relationships. The more friends, the more people listening, the better. And so, on the other hand,
men do reporting, facts. It may be facts about someone's baseball statistics. It may be facts about what's happening with the stock market. It might be facts about work, but it's much more factual and not relationship.
These are life important events, right, guys? And so we want the facts, we want them right, and we're going to repeat them to you multiple times because it may be our sports hero or our company corporate hero. We're going to do report talk. That's how we're most comfortable. Well, when it comes to wives, you're more comfortable expressing your feelings about something. And so it's just that sense of, I need you to understand my heart about this.
Whereas men tend to repress feelings, maybe let some anger out, but overall, they don't want to say that this is making me sad. I mean, you go to a sad movie, the women are going to be the ones with the tissue. The men are going to be choking it back and trying really hard to not let anybody know that this is affecting them.
If we don't talk about it, it won't hurt, right? So we tend to suppress feelings rather than give expression to them. Again, it's kindred spirit with you females. You tend to focus on emotions, and you're comfortable with that. And so yes, if it's a sad movie, oh, it feels so good to cry. Guys, does that make sense? Yes, we have feelings, and yes, we may feel like crying, but are we about to do it?
And men tend to focus on logic. They may look at that sad movie and say, well, you know, if the guy had just done this, they wouldn't be having this issue anyway.
Or if she was just a more sensible woman, they wouldn't be having this argument or this crying fest. You girls, you tend to have close friends, and you talk deeply, and you talk often with one another deeply about the concerns of your heart.
Men, guys, have buddies that they do things with. They may decide to go out running together. They may decide to go work on a car together.
Might go fishing.
Maybe they'll talk a little bit about things, but they don't. It's not a soul-sharing kind of friendship.
Yeah, if you talk 5, 10, 15 minutes after you've been, through the course of 3, 4, 5 hours together, isn't that enough? I mean, we're here to do this thing together. We're not here to share our feelings. All right. Well, again, you females seek connection, and you want that bondedness with other people. We guys, on the other hand,
they want to tell each other about their achievements. Hey, you know what I did at work today? Or you know how fast I ran that 5K? Or
we want to talk about those achievements, those senses that we conquered whatever it was before us, and we did a darn good job of it, right? Okay, well, let's look at just one or two others here. Self-esteem for women. If you wives are introducing yourself to someone else, you talk about your relationship. If you've got kids, you talk about your kids. And marriage, family relationships, the quality of those.
You probably eventually get around to mentioning what you do if you work, but that doesn't, for most women, that's not the priority. It's the family and the relationships.
On the other hand,
men tend to get their self-esteem from how competent they are, things that happen at work. When two men meet, the first thing they'll say is, so what do you do?
Yeah, what's your
occupation?
Career? What's your occupation? What's your career?
And maybe marriage, kids, that kind of thing come along later in the conversation.
Now, if we haven't convinced you that there's a difference between the boys and the girls, the husbands and the wives, there is one conclusive piece of social science research that just ultimately proves that we are wired differently. And here it comes, folks. If the clicker will help us out, going to the washroom is a social event for you gals. Anybody want to go to the washroom together? I mean, it's like a party, and we're not looking in, but when you pass by a women's restroom, oftentimes it's so noisy and talking is going on.
Men go to the restroom unannounced. The washroom, they just stand up from the table and walk away, or say, I'll be back in a minute.
And it's quiet in there. You don't go to the restroom to talk to people. That's weird. So unless you really know somebody well, you keep your mouth shut and you keep your eyes forward and you just take care of business. You wash your hands and you get out of there. Okay? All right. Social science, hopefully with humor. We are so different.